Thug Rose! Namajunas does it again. Proves it wasn't a fluke. She had to go through a meat grinder though. 5 rounds, 5 tough rounds against Joanna. But she proved again that the first fight wasn't a fluke. There were a few times in this fight last night where she hurt Joanna. Not to the point where like Joanna was this close to losing consciousness or anything like that, but there were times when she stunned Joanna, and buckled her legs, and the power difference was evident. As I'm telling you, Joanna hit her with a lot of shots, a lot of leg kicks, a lot of punches, and not once did Rose look rattled. Not once. Some of the leg kicks looked like they were bothering her, but you can imagine getting slammed with those leg kicks and just all the different ways your knee could tweak just from the impact of those kicks on the inside and outside the thighs and stuff. But man, Rose, she doesn't get enough credit for her chin. I mean, she can take a shot, because those are shots that we've seen Joanna really hurt people with. I know Joanna hasn't really been known as like a power puncher. She's more like a volume type fighter who just racks up strike after strike after strike and wears you down over the course of 5 rounds. She's still, she's shown in past fights that she can do a lot of damage, man. She's torn people's faces up. She's made people look like a Halloween mask after fights, So Rose is man, she's legit. And for the longest time I didn't know really how I felt about her. I always felt like she was good, she was talented, but I just always felt like she wasn't at that level. I always felt like she still had more room to grow, and like she was just too green to compete at the highest of levels. But man, she's serving up that humble pie in a big way, and I'm eating crow. But yeah, she looked great last night. The fight was definitely night and day different between the first fight and last night's fight, but she still went out there and beat Joanna at her own game. I don't think it went to the ground once. They went to a clinch against the fence a few times. But yeah, she ultimately got the better of the striking. She beat Joanna in Joanna's world. So, man, there's not much you can say. I think it's more one of those things where, like, how sometimes there's just a fighter that has another fighter's number. Like we saw it with Rich Franklin and Anderson Silva. Rich Franklin was great. He was tearing through people until he ran into the immovable wall, right? That is Anderson Silva, and he just couldn't get over that hump. And so I think that's, at least at this weight, that's where Joanna's going to be. So as long as Rose is standing at the top of that mountain, Joanna's not going to ever reach that summit. Because she's not going to ever get over on Rose. It's kind of a shitty spot, knowing you'll always be second place. So if I was Joanna's team and in her corner, I don't know. Personally, I would think about moving weight classes. But who knows what they're going to do. They might just try to rack up a few wins and work their way back into another shot against Rose. But like I said, man, Rose beat Joanna at her own game. And Rose is even more dangerous on the ground. So it's just, man, I think Rose just has Joanna's number. It's just something Joanna and her team are going to have to accept. But I would like to say that last night's fight, this is something I have to mention because it deserves to be mentioned. I think the total punch count was something like 130 or 140 to like 83 in favor of Joanna. So although I scored the fight myself, right? When I watch these fights, I score it myself, based on who wins what round. And I had Rose winning 1 and 2. I felt like Rose took rounds 3 and 4 off. Either that or Joanna just stepped up her game in the 3rd and 4th and just outworked Rose in the 3rd and 4th. So won by simply outworking her. And then I had Rose winning the 5th. So I had a 3-2 win for Thug Rose. So I had no issues with the decision. But it's always interesting when they show the different stats, and the different strikes landed and stuff like that, because it didn't seem like Joanna was really outlanding her by that much, like 140-80 or something like that. I mean, it seemed like it was way closer, like there was a way smaller margin between the two. And obviously Joanna didn't hurt her with any shots except the leg kicks, whereas I feel like Rose, there were a few times where she buckled Joanna's legs. So I had no problem with the decision. I think the judges made the right decision. I think it was a hell of a fight. It was a treat. I mean, I think Joanna had her right where she wanted her going into that 5th round. I mean, I really do. I felt like the tides had turned. The momentum had shifted. And I felt like Joanna, man, I thought she was going to come out and seal the deal with that 5th round, because, like I said, she had Rose where she wanted. It looked like Rose was fading a bit in that 3rd and 4th round, and it looked like Joanna was ramping up the intensity, and she might run away with it. But I'll tell you what, Rose showed the heart of a champion coming out in that 5th round and, really putting the final nail in the coffin and turning the tides, because, like I said, I had Rose winning 1, 2, and then losing the 3rd and the 4th, so she absolutely had to come out and establish herself early in that 5th round, and that's what she did. She came out and she simply outclassed her in that 5th round, landed more shots, landed more significant shots in that 5th round, and just, yeah, she proved why she's a champion, and hats off to her and her team. I don't know what her corner said to her in between rounds, but they lit a fire under her ass going into that 5th round, because like I said, that 3rd and 4th round, it looked like a bit of the fight inside of her was gone. That fire burnt out. So they lit a fire under her ass. She went out there and she got the job done in the 5th. So yeah, I have no problems with that decision whatsoever. What a fun fight, for the fans to watch. It was back and forth. I mean, I would, if they fought a 3rd time, I would pay for it. I would buy it. I mean, who won, right? You'd have to be stupid not to, but I still think same result. I still think Joanna comes out on the losing end. Yeah, it is what it is. I think Rose just has her number, you guys. Let me know what you think. Peace!